And we're back once again, only on Last Call. Last Call with the Alcohol, only on the Last Call YouTube channel. Now, join me here on the line. This man will be fighting once again on November 25th. It'll be all the way in Metro City in none other than Northbridge, Australia. It'll be a junior middleweight class between him and Baljit Singh, and a lot of people are very high on him. He already is with Tony Tolji for his manager. He is with as a promoter. Well, he'll be headlining the Thunderdome for the 40th anniversary. We're excited about this year. I give you all the way from Australia, Perth, Australia itself. I give you Jordan LaRuccia. Jordan, we'll start off here with so it's you, Baljit Singh. You're 4-0 here. What is it about this guy that you and your team brought him in for? Because you could have got a lot of other guys from Australia. Why Singh? Why is this the guy that you and your team have brought in for you to face?
Um, it's just one of those things where there's not a lot of local fighters here that are active at the moment. So bringing in someone that's an international opponent as well as having a bit more exposure gives a bit more diversity on the show. He's also a very forward fighter as well, and he's had 4 fights. He's got 2 wins for 2 losses. But he's a very forward fighter. He's gone all 16 rounds. So I think it would be a nice challenge and a tough challenge for me to move forward in my career and also to, uh, showcase what I have in my arsenal and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, that's why I think my team have brought him in.
So what's the goal for this fight? I mean, I know winning's the ultimate goal. That's plan A. But like, is there certain
Yeah.
things that your team wants to see from you? Like whether it's better footwork, start working on
Yeah,
cutting off the ring. Like, what are some of the things that your team has said we want to see this on November 25th?
Yeah, I think mainly it's like a lot of things. I'm very premature in my career. I mean, I've got no amateur background whatsoever. I've just sort of gone straight into the professional circuit as it is. So for a few reasons, they just obviously want to gain a bit more experience under my belt, as well as work on cutting off the ring and my footwork, and also picking my moments and picking my opportunities when to close it down and when to pick it up as well as relaxing in the ring and timing as well, which is a big thing. So yeah, just to see where I'm at and to push forward in my career. So yeah, that's the whole reason behind teaming up this opponent.
Go back to this fight a bit. Taking back to your last fight, Vo, it was first round knockout all the way Metro City Northbridge. You, Rin Kabar.
Yep.
What went right? Did anything go wrong at all in that fight? And what was it about this fight that
Um,
you were able to really, showcase your power?
yeah. Look, this fight we had a hard camp leading up to it. Very hard preparation. It was my first international opponent, so we were obviously doing the work in the gym and really trying to polish up a few things in what I do. Um, with this fight, he was a southpaw. He also had double the experience. So in that fight, we're really trying to you know just see what would work best and what wouldn't. And also, we knew that I had a bit of a reach advantage on him. So keeping that long jab, keeping him with the long jab, was the game plan from the start. Um, I saw the open opportunity. Well, my cornerman did for the right hand down the middle, and yeah, like I would have liked it to go a little bit longer, but I mean, at the end of the day, it was what it was. You know what I mean? But yeah, uh, yeah, that's just the way we went about it, I guess.
How big was that for you having a guy who, for the first time, it's you're fighting somebody who has experience under your belt. I mean, granted, he's 3-3, but he had at least had a couple of fights. It wasn't like some of these guys you're facing who where it's debut fight, one
Yeah.
loss, debut fight. This is a guy who, in theory, at least had won 3 fights in there. So how big was that for you? Beating a guy who wasn't just some guy they picked off the street. It's a guy who actually could say, "Hey, I am a boxer."
Yeah, definitely. It was a big stepping stone for me. It was definitely something that it needed to be done. And we thought taking this fight would be a bigger test, but it was a well timed shot. And I mean, I've been hit before with similar shots where they do hurt. So but for me, it was really good to make a statement to also sort of catapult me up into a higher, I would say, a little bit of a higher level where people will take me a little bit more seriously in my professional career. As I said, I don't have an amateur background or anything like that. I've sort of just dove into the the pro the pro circuit. So for me, just to showcase what I had and that I can fight someone that has had experience, it worked. It worked wonders really for me.
I gotta say, take me to that. Like, what got you into boxing? Because you weren't one of these guys like we have, guys like a Teef Overton or even Joey Spencer, where they've been doing this for a long time. They grew. They were doing this when they were young teenagers.
Yeah,
Now they're getting into the pros. You started at a later part in your life. Like, what made you decide to get into boxing in the first place?
yeah. Look, I boxing for me is like a sort of like a stress reliever. So, being going back into when I was, my younger days, 17, 18, 19, going out, all that sort of stuff. I was finding myself in a little bit of situations where you know, just not being the person that I wanted to be, really. So, and I was like, I played at a sport at a semi-professional level. I played soccer, so back in the day, and I had to quit at that point. I had nothing really going for me, and being young and I was, bit of a delinquent and all that sort of stuff. I was like, I needed to have some structure in my life, some discipline. So that's what initially got me into boxing. And I was actually the cleaner at my gym before I actually started boxing. So yeah, so I would just clean the gym and then train after I cleaned and whatnot. So that really was the what catapulted me to want to do boxing and seeing all the other pros in the gym and the way that they conduct themselves, as well as all the opportunities that they are given as well. So that really was something that caught my eye, and the reason why I pursued boxing. um yeah, yeah.
Take me to that first time you're boxing, and all of a sudden it's like just you think it's easy because you watch on TV. It's like, oh yeah, I can do this here. And those the first, I'm guessing, like sparring session after four rounds, you're just probably throwing up. Everything's burning in your arms, your
Yeah,
legs. Like, how long did it take you just to be able to go 4 rounds and not go, okay, god damn it, I need oxygen tank?
yeah. Look, it was pretty instant. I mean, like coming from being a semi-professional athlete beforehand, um, I sort of had a little bit of endurance and a little bit in the tank, but there's no other sport that can compare to the amount of physical endurance that you need for boxing. And those first few training sessions, those sparring sessions were very painful. I remember the first proper sparring session I had was against Stephen Triple T Gago. And he's a welterweight who resides in Perth, but he's fought all over Australia and a few international fights as well. And like first round, I was in the ring with him. Second round, he was just you know that professional style, very calm and picking his shots. And then I got dropped with a liver shot, and I think that was the biggest shock was for me that that this isn't easy. There is things that cause you pain and that will hurt you, but it's about driving past that and keeping going, if that makes sense.
You mentioned that you didn't, that, you don't have this amateur background. Like, what made you decide to jump into the pros rather than do the amateur circuit? Because you could have, qualified for the 2024 Olympics. That's still on the table. So for you, why was the pros something that you went, okay, I'm doing pro first and, bypassing the amateurs?
Yeah. Look, I know over in the States it's a big thing to have an amateur background, for experience wise, as well as proving yourself to be a professional. Here in Perth, well, here in Perth and in Australia, it's a little bit different. I mean, it is important to have an amateur background, but for me, I was at a point where I was actually surrounded by a lot of professional boxers, so our gym doesn't really have an amateur pedigree. So for me, it was almost. I had an exhibition fight before that, on a Thunderdome card, um, to get a taste and to get experience, like see what it feels like to be in the ring, fighting in the ring. But in terms of going to the amateurs, then we had that big COVID lockdown as well, which put a whole halt on all of the boxing in around the world, really. So for me, it was like, I could really knuckle down and work on for that time, work on my style and all that sort of stuff. And my style did suit a professional, what a professional boxer should fight like, as opposed to an amateur boxer. They're very bouncy. So my style was more suited to the pro circuit. So that's the whole reason why we went down that route and went down that path.
I'm curious because I'm looking at the Instagram here, and there's a lot of photos of you training. There's one photo of you and a baby, so I'm guessing that's yours, correct? Your son?
No, no. So that's actually my little cousin. So my cousin's little baby. So yeah,
All right.
yeah.
But is that also part of the motivation for you, where it's like, most guys talk to, it's, hey, look, I'm fighting for family. I'm fighting to get him, to get him out of, this certain place. I'm fighting to, get my parents out of their old house, get them to a new house. Like, how much is for you
Yeah,
is family like the motivation of, I want to, keep doing this?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, look, family is a major motivational point for me. I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, or I've come from the slums, or I'm poor, or whatever. I've had a terrific upbringing. My parents have done absolutely everything for me. So that's one thing that I can't fault. But obviously, we are not well off. We just scrape by. So for me, that is a fighting point for me to fight hard for my family, and hopefully make a better future and change their lives. My goal is that I can make enough money to pay off their mortgage. But I mean, that is a long term goal. So for me, it definitely does motivate me to get in the ring and want to perform my best and want to get to that next level. So I could live a bit more, and my parents could live a bit more of a stress free life.
Last question for Chico, as he said, it's gonna happen once again all the way on November 25th. It's gonna be
25th.
you,
Yep.
Baljit Singh. It's gonna be at yeah, Metro City Northbridge here. You've now had, this will
Yep.
be your fifth fight here, and you've, as I said, COVID, put a damper on COVID, I guess for you and a lot of guys, it forced you guys to have to adapt here. Now that everything's in a rear view mirror, you've had two fights, 2021, two fights in 2022.
Yep.
This will be your third. How often do you want to keep busy? Now that you have Tony, now that you have the full team, like what's I guess, the goal in terms of next year of like, okay, I want 4 fights or 5 fights. Like how often do you want to, keep busy now that
Yep.
things are getting back to normal?
Yeah. Well, look, definitely. I mean, as I said, COVID put a halt on a lot of people's careers in boxing. So, for me, it was I want to fight as often as I can. So, if any show that comes up or any other opportunities that come over, whether it be interstate or overseas, I'm happy. I'm ready. I want to have as many fights as I possibly can. So as long as Tony and my team think it's the right opponent for the right time, then I'm more than happy to keep busy. And whether it's 3, 4, 5, even 6, 7 fights a year, I'm ready. So I want to fight.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I give you one of the newest signings of Dragonfire Boxing, and also Tony Tolji. I give you its light middleweight undefeated prospect. I give you Jordan LaRuccia. Jordan, before I let you go, so where can fans check you out at? Where is the Twitter page, Instagram, the website? Like, where can fans hit you up at?
Yeah, so you can hit me up at on Instagram at Jordan.LaRuccia. Or I've got Facebook as well, which is just Jordan LaRuccia. But yeah, they're the two places that I'm generally posting most of my fight news and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, yeah.
Jordan LaRuccia, ladies and gentlemen, once again, always honor, pleasure having him on the show. We come back and we got a lot more going on here, only on Last Call. Last Call with the Alcohol, only on the Last Call YouTube channel.